Hi, Kelly. It's great to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're very busy, so yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Alex, for having me.
My pleasure, pleasure. So to kick things off, can you just introduce yourself to us? Let us know a bit about your name, obviously, how long you've been in the industry, and just a little bit more about your business, your role, and how long you've been using Inspection Express.
My name is Kelley Seaton. I run a business called the Leasing Network. We're on the Central Coast of New South Wales. We predominantly are property management only, so we lease and specialise in that area. We love Inspection Express. I'm just trying to think actually how long we have been with you. I would probably say five, 4 years, 5 years. Oh gosh, not exactly sure. Um, yeah, that's a little bit about us, and we have a small team here. Yeah.
Amazing. That's great. Thanks so much, Kelly. Now, can you share with us a bit more about some key pain points in the property management process that you had before adopting Inspection Express? I know it was a long time ago, about 5 years. So if we can just try and remember back to when it was, yeah,
Remember,
just give us a bit about what your pain points are. Yeah.
I think the biggest pain points was back then everything was on paper. This was after I've been doing property management for 30 years. I forgot to mention that. So this is after carbon copy inspection reports and all those things. It was on paper. The paper part of that was rather frustrating because not only did you have to sign every single page with your pen, literally, give it to the tenant to take away, bring back. You then had to photocopy it, scan it, try and get it to the owners a copy, which would not scan because the file sizes were way too large. The photos you couldn't see, etc. So there were definitely some flaws with the system. Not that we thought there were back then, but having everything electronic has just been an absolute dream for us. And I can't. I go back and I think, how did we actually do that? To be honest. But
I
yeah,
know it's a bit like that.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it's a bit like
a huge task, and it just took, yeah, it wasn't just one little thing. There was just spiraled into seven different jobs to do it back then. So yeah.
Yeah. And I guess from like a document storage perspective as well, it seems like it would be an absolute nightmare.
Oh, we used to have folders back then for your tenant and owner. And honestly, the folders in a filing cabinet, literally a filing cabinet, were quite thick with the depth of those inspection reports being, some of them were 200 pages deep. So to try and scan those into your document management system, it was a nightmare. I think there's a few of our old reports that we had that are three deep, part one, part two, part three, because that's how thick they were in file size. So yeah, it was a disaster.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. And God, I'm struggling to even comprehend how much of a disaster that would have been. Um, but from a time perspective, if we can just dive a bit more deeper into that, how did it impact like those pain points or the paper condition report? How did that impact the time that it took and the time taken to do manual admin?
Forever. It took forever. I think if I was to sit down there and cost it out, you would be at the house for XYZ number of times. I would have to probably say a minimum of 4 hours for most of our entry condition reports. If, on a three-bedroom, four-bedroom home, they do take quite some time. But then obviously having to come back and complete that in paper as well. I think the whole thing would probably take us about 10 hours by the time you went from the top to the bottom. Yeah, it was huge. The time saving with
Yeah,
inspection
that's massive.
is probably our number one recommendation for anyone that doesn't use Inspection Express, because it truly does save you so much time. There's a lot more behind it, but the time is definitely a key factor.
Yeah, amazing. So sort of to segue into that, how did these challenges impact your day-to-day your day-to-day operations, productivity, and client satisfaction? You've sort of answered that a little bit, but was there any tangible impact that you saw of those challenges and what that meant for your business
It was
and your
actually
client satisfaction?
it was completely inefficient. There was no efficiency or
Yeah.
no time management or anything with any part of how that process was. But it was just something that we always did. One of the other challenges we had with the paper reports versus now being online is that you also had to chase the tenant to return that entry condition report. There's no form of automation like we do now where you send it out on the scheduled day and time and it reminds them on the scheduled day and time and reminds them again, so it was just even all of that, like we just actually hit the button to say schedule and send it to them, and we did nothing further, do nothing further now. So even all of those things were just such a task without any automation whatsoever of us chasing it. The other thing we found that they didn't actually return the report. We would just be forever chasing. And I know you don't really have to do that. If they don't return it, they don't return it. 7 days in New South Wales is up and it's done. But we always wanted to give them the opportunities to return those reports. But the other thing we love now with Inspection Express is via the electronic reporting, if they want to say no to any of our comments, they need to put the photo in. So it's not just them saying no, 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 no to everything. They've actually got to go through and say, well, literally, why is it no? And show me why it's no. So that's just such a time-saving thing, because if a report did come back to us previously and was written all over, we would actually make an appointment and go back to those property and let's go through this together. And that would be another 2-hour job because they've just written no to save their bacon, and not actually being able to provide any data or photo evidence. So that's really very, very handy with today's operations. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could imagine. And so I can imagine, yeah, it would have been quite a stress for you and your team for that. And what was the reason you decided to go ahead with Inspection Express? And what made you decide Inspection Express over any of the other solutions that are out there in the market?
Um, well, I think I might have met Kelley at some point. We maybe had some alcohol. But other than that, I think the reason why we needed a solution to be more productive. Our time management was woeful. There was no efficiencies. And it looked amazing. We needed to be able to scale our business, and we were spending so much time on just these inspections and things like that. So it's certainly, from our point of view and from a business owner's point of view, it's making things really quickly, more efficient. We look great. The owners love them. So it's definitely something that they really enjoy seeing, and that they just, yeah, it was probably a no-brainer in the end when we listened to what the software did for us. We were just like, that's pretty much something we are going to get on board with and be an early adopter of. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And it sounds like it's all those factors were quite an important piece of that decision, which is great. So, no, thank you for that. And since you've implemented Inspection Express, how much time do you think you've saved your team on a weekly basis?
I actually did a cost chart on this, and I've probably saved us more than 20 hours a week. So it's, half a person. Um, realistically is probably our time
Wow.
saving.
Oh,
I think it is because of that, a few things, the automation that it has, uh, the fact that it syncs with our software. We use Property Me, so the fact that we can have those reports feed back into Property Me, but it's definitely it's on. I think it's been between 18 and 20 hours. Yeah.
wow, that's impressive. That's incredibly impressive. 20 hours, like you said, that's a whole half a person, which is amazing. Um, and have you noticed any improvements in client satisfaction or received any positive feedback since you've used Inspection Express from your clients?
Clients love it. Especially we are using the virtual tours in our routine inspection reports as well. So um, they really do. The feedback has been really good. The clients are very happy, and obviously we want to have happy clients. So not only is it making things great for us in the office, it's making us look great for our clients on the outside, looking at those reports and things as well. So they're definitely enjoying it. I haven't not had any negative feedback at all.
That's amazing to hear. Yeah, that's great to hear. And now looking ahead, how do you see Inspection Express helping with the future growth of your business?
I think it's real. The fact that it's so time saving is actually allowing us the ability to scale and grow and spend more time with our clients face to face. And I think when you're spending so much time on inspections and you don't have that time to be personable and communicate with your clients, that's a failure. So I definitely feel that it is giving us more time. It's also maintaining consistency with the inspections and those sort of things. So I don't know. I just want Inspection Express to keep going the way it's going because we just love it.
Wow, thank you for sharing. That's really great to hear from our end as well. And finally, just to wrap things up, what would you say to other businesses or business owners still on the fence about Inspection Express?
Um, don't sit on the fence. It's definitely worth doing. It is very effective. It's time saving. One thing I haven't mentioned yet, which I should add in, it is really good for record keeping. The audit trail process that it has behind it, you can really prove exactly when that report went out, when it came back. But also, I have weighed out the cost versus time, and it is well worth doing. So I would just say, just do it. Just stop sitting on the fence and just go for it.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's really amazing, and thank you for sharing. That's it for today. Thank you for answering those questions and sharing your experience with us, Kelley. It's been great to hear about, your last 5 years using Inspection Express, and we're happy to be along with the journey of your growth of the business. So thank you once again.
Thank you. Thanks so much.